Okay. I just had to ramble on about this for a minute as things are just like pouring over me and then pouring out of me, right? But I watch a lot of content and I do a lot of studying on self development and things of that sort. And as I am studying, a lot of things come to mind. But one of the things that came to mind is that a lot of this self development that a lot of us feel like we need to do is because we live in a culture that is in essence very dysfunctional and we don't want to talk about that. We're in turn trying to design ourselves around this dysfunction, right? But just thinking about the culture from my perspective, we are taught it's in our installation, which happens very young in our indoctrination, lots of times in school and oftentimes before then, because a lot of our families have came through the same schooling indoctrination system. So it can start preschool, but we are taught to socialize in a very dysfunctional manner because we live in a society that has a fabric of a hierarchy, which in turn, to me, is a hoax, right? That would perpetuate that we live in a place where one person is higher than another person. And we see that in so many ways in our society, in our politics, in the way our business is structured, in our cartoons, everything. Like we see, this whole um, installation of higher than, less than, greater than, less than, good, bad, all of that kind of stuff, which kind of, in my opinion, puts us on this path of kind of trying to determine or value ourselves according to that, which can be very dysfunctional to the being, but that's the way that I need, at least I feel like this society is structured. I haven't lived in any other, but I have observed some do video travel and stuff like that. But a lot of people participate in structures of hierarchy, which is at the root of can be at the root of dysfunction because if we are constantly trying to um if we have that inside, what that actually does with us if we feel like we don't fall in the class that is the higher than. Um, it just takes you on a whole nother path when, in essence, that's not true. It's just a belief system. It's a train of thought that I don't participate in, and I don't ride that train. But a lot of us do, right? Um, yeah. But, when I'm thinking about, I saw a video that just came about recently that talks about the narcissist, right? I hear all of this terminology that we talk about so often and it gets so popular that it kind of like starts to get on my nerves. Toxic, narcissist, all of that kind of stuff, right? Not to defend any of those character traits, but to understand that none of us are exempt from them. So, when I hear people talk about it in a very demeaning way, I'm just like, fam, please do not ever take yourself out of that pattern of behavior because anybody is accessible to it that lives on this planet. It's a pattern of behavior that is taught. It is a result or a symptom of that structure of hierarchy where I have to feel like I'm better than another person, or in order to be somebody, it will take a people on a train of destruction. You know, in essence, I don't really know how to effectively construct something where something is deemed better than or less than. Like, things are different. Things have different values, which means they have different purposes, different uses, right? But all of that is, I'm sure, in turn, equivalent to this being put together. I can just use if you putting together a house. You may buy a box of nails that may cost you $5, and then you will buy um a hammer that may cost you $10. It costs you more than a nail, but you can't build a house without nails or a hammer. The nails just happen to be less expensive, but you can't do one without the other, which means that they don't fall any higher or less than on the need of use to get this done. One costs less than the other, but you can't get it done without the other, which in turn, you know, humanity is kind of that same way. None of us are higher than or less than. We all have a purpose, a value, a use, something that we are here to do or we want to do, right? But to take another person out of the equation is better than me, higher than me. That's a breeding ground for craziness that's not isolated to one or two people. Like it's a taught behavior. That's just my 2 cents about that. I had to get that out.